So we talked about the origins of the Manosphere, the terminology, the ideology, the domestic terrorism threat, and I've introduced you to a few of the most popular Manosphere voices. In this episode, we're going to talk about the technology that allowed online misogyny to become both pervasive and profitable. I was chatting with my parents about the Manosphere and incels one day. These two kindly retirees from Detroit could not understand where and how boys were getting these messages. They'd ask, what does body count even mean? Or why would these young men even go looking for this stuff? I will explain it to you just how I explained it to them. It's all about the algorithm. A social media algorithm is the invisible hand that decides what you see and what you don't see. It's a set of formulas designed to predict what will keep you scrolling, liking, sharing, and staying on the platform longer. Algorithms don't prioritize truth, safety, or justice. They just prioritize engagement. And engagement thrives on outrage, fear, and controversy. The result is that this harmful content, the misogyny, disinformation, religious extremism, gets amplified, not by accident, but because the system is built to reward whatever grabs a person's attention and keeps it. In short, social media algorithms aren't broken. They're doing exactly what they were designed to do. Digital records of behavior can be used to accurately predict a wide range of personal attributes: age, gender, sexual orientation, ethnicity, and intelligence. It knows your religious and political views, whether you're happy or sad, the last time you got high, and whether or not your parents are divorced. The algorithm can look at your likes and shares on social media platforms and figure out exactly who you are. And once it knows who you are, it can predict with stunning accuracy what you will do. Once the algorithm has figured that out, it knows what content you will watch, what content you will like, and what you will share. And it will send you more and more of that type of content. Some of the personality clues seem totally random, like when users liked curly fries and Sephora cosmetics. This was said to give clues to their intelligence. Hello Kitty likes. Hello Kitty likes indicated a person's political views. Being confused after waking up from naps was linked to sexuality. Personally, as a Sephora devotee, that bit about Sephora being linked to intelligence, how though? That's my question. Does that mean you're more intelligent or less intelligent? Maybe I don't want to know the answer to that question. So you have millions of young men who struggle with dating, making friends, or establishing a career, which to me, that just sounds like the first few years of a typical adulthood. Adulting sucks. It's hard. Then a video comes across their YouTube feed. Maybe it's a YouTube short. Maybe it's gym content. Maybe it looks something like this.
If you stay in bed, if you stay on the couch, if you stay in your comfort zone, if you only do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, if you get up, if you grind, if you are relentless, if you work as hard as possible, when other people are slacking off, your life will be easy.
Seems pretty harmless, right? But let's say he likes it and shares it. Next time, he might see something like this.
Women require adoration. And this is often called the adoration-admiration dichotomy. Adoration means, baby, you're everything. I would literally take a for you. You're so wonderful. You're so beautiful. And from the evolutionary biology would suggest you need somebody who's going to be protective, way beyond what reason would suggest. You're insane for that particular person, whereas men need admiration, which is basically, that is the largest gazelle I've ever seen that you just dragged into the cave. You're so big and strong, right? And so it almost suggests that what guys need is like just admiration. I need you to admire me more than anybody else admires me. And we're not egomaniacs, but these are differences that actually would get back to, I'm going to just take care of you and the kids forever. And I'm going to protect you because I adore you so much. And you're going to admire me for this. And again, I need to be admired. I mean, I do need to be adored as a husband and as a person and the whole thing. So it's not that simple, but there's a lot to that. And so one of the things that guys will say, what's the secret? And it's number one, adore her. And number two, be admirable. Actually be admirable. She's not going to admire you if you're not admirable, for God's sake. And adore her. What if I don't feel it? I don't care. I don't care. Adore her. That's the secret.
And before you know it, you're seeing stuff like this.
Men do not want slutty women.
Would you feel comfortable if your father was watching your OnlyFans and subscribing to it?
Probably not, no.
You would not feel comfortable, and I'll tell you why. That's because in your heart of hearts and your soul, if you still got one, you know it's wrong. And I'll give you an example. That's your work. In my work, if my mother consumed my work, I'd be thankful and pleased that she took an interest in my work and supported my work. If she bought my products, I'd be thankful. If your mother or father bought your product, you'd be disgusted and ashamed because you know what you're doing is wrong and the product of what you're doing is bad.
You guys don't understand how much a woman can fuck your life up when you don't know what the hell is going on. A lot of y'all are shacking up and wifing up girls that have more sexual experience than you. She's been around dudes, she knows the game. Then your dumb ass ends up, walk down the aisle with this girl. Next thing you know, 6 months later, you're getting fucking divorced or you're getting broken up with. That's why we tell y'all, don't get married. In general, most of you guys have no business getting fucking married.
And you keep seeing this stuff day after day. And when you're young, sad, and confused, it's very easy to start believing what they are telling you. Maybe women are to blame for my problems, why I'm lonely, and why I can't find a job. And the more videos they watch, the more the app will send them. You know, lately the YouTube algorithm has been sending some really weird stuff my way. Particularly videos of tech CEOs strutting down the street while an AI-generated animal man hybrid with huge muscles and a matching power suit follows behind. Think tiger with biceps and a briefcase. And the song that's playing, it's always, without fail, Gangster's Paradise. This is content I wouldn't normally watch, but I watched and shared one of these videos one time with a friend and captioned it saying, "Hey, check out this weird stuff that came across my YouTube feed. What the hell is this crap?" That's all I did, just once. Those videos have been in my YouTube Shorts feed every day since. The algorithm didn't care that I was laughing at this content and thought it was weird and creepy. All it knows is that I watched it and shared it, which is all it needs to know. I was telling you about the weird AI videos that are coming across my feed. Well, YouTube sent me a new one. Take a look.
It's off with your head. Gonna change it and make it a world you won't forget. No damsel in distress, don't need to save me. Once I stop breathing fire, you can't take me. And you might think I'm weak without a sword, but I'm stronger than I ever was before. All the kings had their queens on the throne. We would pop champagne and raise a toast to all of the queens who are fighting alone. Baby, you're not dancing on your own.
And that, friends, is just one flavor of algorithmic chaos. One day it's Andrew Tate calling women property. The next day it's Tim Cook and an 8-foot eagle-headed bodybuilder in loafers walking behind him. Is anyone else feeling like the internet is just blackout drunk, just shit-faced on misogyny and AI chaos? And yet we are still letting it drive the culture and just keeping our fingers crossed that we don't crash into a ditch. Just me? Okay. I just think someone needs to confiscate the internet's keys because shit is getting weird. The algorithm is feeding men a steady diet of alpha male fantasies and apocalyptic warnings about the decline of Western masculinity. It keeps sending them the same stuff over and over again. And after a while, they start thinking, it seems like everyone is saying this, so it must be true. Masculinity is under attack. The content that performs the best is content that triggers outrage, provokes a rapid response, and reinforces strong tribal identities. Unfortunately, that means that misogyny, racism, and dangerous conspiracy theories travel much faster than kindness, nuance, or facts. It's like Mark Twain said, a lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is putting on its shoes. The algorithm's job is to exploit our psychological impulses in order to maximize profit. And this rage can be monetized. Eligible content creators are paid a fee depending on the amount of views a video receives or how many ads the viewer watched. Usually the platform pays a fixed rate per 1,000 views. The rate you're paid is called a CPM, cost per mille, which means 1,000. It's the amount an advertiser pays for every 1,000 impressions or views of their ad. According to Google AdSense public data, Google is YouTube's parent company, the median CPM rate in the US is about $11.68, but it can be higher if you have more subscribers or more views per video. I'm going to give you some rough estimates of how much some of these Manosphere influencers might be earning from YouTube ads. Fresh and Fit has about 1.6 million subscribers, and a quick glance shows that a typical video on their channel gets 50 to 100,000 views. They joined YouTube just before the COVID-19 lockdown, so for 4 years, they were able to capitalize on a time when these platforms had the most attention from users they have probably had in the history of their existence. In that time, they have had 250 million total views thereabouts. So let's divide that by the 5 years the channel has been active, which is around 50 million views per year. We're excluding this last year because they were demonetized in 2024. So 50 million views for 4 years. We factor in the United States CPM rate of $11.68. Remember that it's per 1,000 views. That's about $584,000 a year. And given that their CPM rate was likely higher because their channel's popularity, that number is probably higher. If I had to venture a guess, I would say it's probably closer to $1 million a year. Chris Williamson is from the UK, but he currently lives in the US, I believe, so we'll use the same CPM rate for him. He has 3.5 million subscribers to his YouTube channel for his Modern Wisdom podcast, and total views of approximately 906 million since 2018. So 906 million views divided by 7 years, that's around 130 million views per year on average, divided by 1,000 times the CPM rate, $1.5 million a year. This is just for ads and views. It doesn't count YouTube Shorts, which have a different pay structure. It also doesn't count any YouTube memberships, merchandise sales, books, etc. That's just from YouTube ads alone. $1.5 million. Same with the Whatever podcast. That channel's been around a lot longer, 20 years, but I don't know at what point it began posting red pill content when it switched from a prank channel to a dating channel. Even so, more subscribers than Modern Wisdom or Fresh and Fit, 4.45 million thereabouts. So they likely have a CPM rate that's higher than the median. Let's say $13.50. So an average of 53 million views per year, divided by 1,000, that's over $700,000 per year. And like I said, it's probably closer to 1 million or possibly over 1 million from one channel. And these guys are on multiple platforms. So it is entirely possible that the most popular red pill podcasters are earning millions of dollars every year just from YouTube ads. These influencer empires have capitalized off of broken masculinity. And since the algorithm rewards the most dangerous, rage-filled voices, there are men on the internet making millions per year, encouraging men, directly or indirectly, to despise women. This technology creates a feedback loop. Misogynistic content is posted. People react with anger or share to criticize it, or react to like it and share it. Engagement metrics soar. The platform boosts it to more people, and the original creator gets rewarded with visibility, followers, and or monetization. That's the cycle. Sexist ideas and organized male bigotry are nothing new. The fight for gender equality has faced backlash from men's rights activists for decades. But many men are struggling with the cultural and economic shifts that have happened in the last 50 years. They are dealing with new social expectations. For the first time on a large scale, men are expected to share power with women, both in the home and outside. They're not handling it well. Don't get me wrong, these men do have some very real concerns. Changes in the global economy have reduced the security and availability of jobs in traditionally male-dominated fields like construction and manufacturing. Gains in gender equality are challenging traditional ideas about gender roles. High rates of mental health problems, including loneliness, depression, and suicide. These are complex issues resulted from decades of political, economic, and technological change. But instead of blaming it on neoliberal economic policies, the outsourcing of blue-collar jobs, wealth inequality, etc., the Manosphere just blames women. Meanwhile, their real beef is actually with capitalism and greed. These groups share a fixation on women and feminism as the cause of men's personal, economic, and social problems. In his book, Angry White Men, Historian Michael Kimmel calls this emotional reaction aggrieved entitlement. Aggrieved entitlement is what happens when someone believes that they are owed power, status, or access, and gets angry when the world doesn't deliver on it. It's not just disappointment, it's rage, born from the belief that you've been cheated of something. You've been denied something that was rightfully yours. For men in particular, this often shows up as violent backlash when they feel rejected, ignored, or challenged, especially by women. And it's no coincidence. Patriarchy teaches men that they're entitled to sex, attention, dominance, and control. So when that expectation is not met, the response isn't self-reflection, it's punishment. Aggrieved entitlement is the fuel behind everything from workplace harassment to mass shootings. It's not about individual failure. It's about a system that promised them power and a culture that tells them to take it back by force. It happens when people with power and privilege see improvements in equality for others and inclusiveness as a loss of status, and thus a personal attack. Men are struggling to cope with the loss of the unearned privileges that they have always enjoyed. It's like that saying, when you're accustomed to privilege, equality feels like oppression. That's what's happening. In the sixth and final episode of Red Pill Nation, we trace the pipeline from red pill rage to far-right extremism. How red pill ideology doesn't just radicalize men, but feeds the rise of white supremacy, nationalism, and authoritarianism while being backed by a culture that has always welcomed it. See you next time.